Well, welcome into the garden here in Norfolk. It's absolutely beautiful late August evening, and we're going to show you in this video when and how to collect the seed from evening primrose. This is one of our evening primrose plants in front of me here, and you can see it's almost completely finished flowering now. We've just got the very last remnants, if I can get that in focus for you, of these beautiful yellow flowers. There's one, just one of the last ones coming on this multi-stemmed plant that grows very quickly and very profusely and gives you this marvelous display. And by the number of seed heads on this plant, you can get some indication of how well this one's flowered. But it's a short-lived plant, and you want to collect the seed for flowers next year and get them nicely dried and ready for sowing in seed beds or into seed trays, so that you can prick them out and place these lovely plants next spring where you want them to come on and give you this display. Evening primrose grows to around almost 6 foot. Most of the flowers held at the 3 to 4 foot level. But by this stage in late August, it's setting its seed really nicely. And what you want to look for is a 50% dried seed pod. Just let me get in focus on this clump here. You can see these ones towards the end were the last to flower, and they're still green, looking very much like, always remind me of ochre, lady's fingers. Don't think it's related in its genus, but what you're looking to harvest are these ones where it's just started to open on the end, as you can see there. I'm having a little trouble with the focus on this. There you go. That's an ideal seed pod to collect. And the one above it and behind it, again, where they've browned off like this, technique rather than cutting them is just to pull them away from the plant slightly and then twist. And if you keep twisting and holding them upright, they shouldn't discharge their seed and they should come away from the plant. If you don't do that and just pull them, they tend, as you can see here, to damage the whole stem. You can see the way that's torn away, and you're very likely to discharge a lot of seeds. So my advice is to grab, pull away at 90 degrees and then rotate until it's loose enough to pull away. And you want to get a good collection of these and put them into a container. I've got one here with some seeds already in it, but what I'm going to do is pick as many of these that are ripe, and I'll come and gradually harvest the seeds off this evening primrose over a couple of week period as they ripen up, because they won't all be ready for harvesting at the right time. But by getting nicely semi-dried seed pods like that, I'll show you in a minute opening these up and just how easy it is to collect the seeds out of them. Okay, here's my selection of evening primrose seed heads. And if I just show you this one, just by starting to open them up, you'll see that they're compartmentalized into little rows of these fine little seeds. And if you've timed it right, they should be this nice brown color, be very dry, and just come out of the seed pod really nicely like that. Now this one's a little greener, but I think I've timed this right. Just look, again, by opening these up, we haven't lost nearly as many of the seeds contained in this seed pod. And you just need to open these up, pulling them away from the inside ribs that divide the row of seeds and allowing them to fall away. And even though the seed pod's still quite green at the end here, all those seeds are nice and brown and dry, and they just fall away. Let's do another one. Just open this one up and just look at the seeds cascading out of there. And it's just a matter of prizing them open. And if you've timed it right and they're ripe and dry, even by rotating them a little bit like that between your fingers and giving them a tap, all the seed falls away really nice and clean, although the actual seed pod is still quite green. Yeah, excuse me. The beauty of doing it at this time and not leaving it too late, if they're completely browned off, they tend to open up, and then any windy weather, they tend to blow around and distribute themselves, and you'll come to pick your seed pods, open them, and 90% of the seeds already been lost onto the surrounding soil, which doesn't give you much of an opportunity to store it or move it around to places where you either want these to grow or to collect it and save it for sowing next year. And you can just see in this container just how much I'm getting out of these. And we've probably only picked 1% of the seed pods that were actually on that plant. So I'm just going to continue now. And the other thing to say when you've collected them like this is not to put them in a sealed airtight container straight away. They will still have some moisture with them, and there'll also be a few little bugs and thrips and other little critters that come in on those seed pods, and it's a good idea just to leave this open somewhere nice and dry, just for those little bugs to come out and make their way back into the garden. So ideal summer's evening job. And I'm going to just leave this on the table here in the evening sunshine to allow anything that wants to make its way out of here to do so. And in the end, I'll probably have several thousand really good quality, nicely dried evening primrose seed available for storage by the end of this one session. Thanks for watching.